Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm drawing with hubby.
Okay.
And fur baby.
Woof.
Babies.
Woof,
And
woof.
2 feet of snow. Woo, yay! Today we are able to block in and get them the rest of the eyes in and some sheet going on. And I'm really happy with how his look is. Really liking it. So I'm actually going to use a pen I haven't used in a while. And that is the 9MP. So if you got a pokey, thin tip in a different brand, this is what I'm using now. And we're going to get started. I'm going to actually put it at 2.5. I don't want to outline. What happened to that?
Sheila and Spencer here.
I know, but something happened.
What happened?
I don't know. Can you guys still hear and see okay?
I can.
Because I can't see my screen.
There it is.
Huh.
Didn't it do this last time?
No.
Something happened last time.
Never seen it happen. There we go. Hopefully it didn't buffer, but if it did, that's okay. So I'm heating it up at 2.5. Hey Sheila, hey Spence, and I'm not gonna endorse any of this.
Excuse me.
Goodness.
Sorry.
Until I know it works, and this is just throat spray, so you guys aren't having to listen to me get all hoarse. Hopefully it works. All right, so we are getting started. I'm actually going to bump it down to 2 because I don't want it too hot, but we need to get in there. So I'm going to angle this so you guys can see. And right now the faces look so dirty, but once I get that hair in, it's going to lighten up immediately. And I honestly can't wait to get that in so that my brain isn't like freaking out. Alrighty, so on the corner here, the teeth go back, so we're just going to lightly get that in there. Does not have to be super dark. And then over here, we're going to get this in. So look at that. We've already got the corners of the mouth that quick.
It's a little blurry.
It's a little blurry?
It's focused on your hand, not on the picture.
I turned off autofocus.
See, that's what I'm saying.
This is really weird.
See. Well, now.
Oh, it could be the bit rate versus.
It's better now.
Okay. Alrighty, and remember the wood looks a different color because of how my lights are hitting it and then projecting onto into the camera. So in between her front teeth, and remember, although these look like Tic Tacs because when we're kids and our teeth are growing in, they tend to look like Tic Tacs or Chiclets or whatever stuck in your mouth until they fully grow. We don't want them to look that way. We don't want them to look false. So what we're going to do is right here, she's got her gap. And that's just from...
Carmen's here.
Hey, Carmen. Her teeth growing in. And then we have a gap on the other side. And you see, I'm just tapping. I am not outlining in any way.
Thank you.
And we got a gap right here. So we're going to get that gap in. We've got a step because the teeth progress back. So they're not straight across, they go back. So we have to make sure we get that progression of it going back. We see a little less of it here on this side. So we can put it in like that. Alrighty. So now I don't have any more gaps. But I do need to switch over and look at my sepia because we want to look at the gums. The gums are going to be a similar tonal value as the lips unless somebody is wearing makeup or they just have naturally darker lips. So we can see right here the gum and the lip are very close, which is actually why I had a harder time drawing the pattern. In fact, we're not seeing any gum on the are we? Yes, we are. It's so hard to tell because of the tonal value. If it's the lip or if it's... I'm trying to think. Do you remember the size of her teeth? Because that makes a difference.
The size of her teeth?
Yeah, the size of her teeth. Those make a difference as well.
I mean, outside of the picture, no. don't remember it.
I'm intentionally looking for a different photo.
Ah.
Yes, so we can see how big the teeth are. So we see a little gum in this one, but it's mainly her lip. And yes, she being silly for grandma, so that's what that photo is about. But we're getting a good view of the top teeth. Okay. See, the tonal value is just so close that it's hard to tell where the lip stops and the gums begin. So I'm actually going to turn my heat down to 1.5 because I'm going to build this up versus just going in for it. And normally I would use a spear shader, but these are such a small area. If I was just doing her portrait, it'd be a little different. See, right here, what is that right there? That's where 2 teeth. So what happened is I actually misdrew this.
Yeah, that's why you double check just to make sure.
Yeah, I just happened to see it.
Important because
I just happened to see it, so I'm looking. Alrighty, so I gotta fix it.
because pyrography is not like graphite work or you know where you can go back and
No.
fix something structurally. Like it's very difficult to do that because it's a semi-permanent.
Yeah.
Permanent.
All right. So we have her big tooth right here. We have the gap. We have this tooth overhanging. And I think that's where I kind of got off a little bit. Then we have this little tooth here as it's going back. Let's see if that's overhanging. I probably should pull the reference so I can see it better because we got these teeth stuck on top, which there's another tooth right here. Layla, you're going to drive me nuts. I think I'm off again. But I see where now. So, front teeth. And then we have our gap. It angles down and over that bottom tooth. Excuse me. Then we have, and see, and this is where color reference definitely helps, because what I'm doing is I'm just, there we go. Wow. Is this the right photo? It is. Let's see how different my drawing is compared to the actual reference photo. And this is definitely something we have to pay attention to. Hey, Cynthia. Alrighty. So, this is...
I don't think we've seen on the channel. Have you seen Cynthia before?
Yeah, he's been commenting.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
Has she been with us on a live?
No.
I didn't think so.
Alright, this is the original photo pose that I pulled to put with him making the other face. So look at this. We see an overlap tooth. We see an overlap tooth. We see a gap with the bigger teeth at the bottom. An overlap. Oh boy.
Thank you, Morgan.
So now I have to look at fixing this. So the 2 teeth, let me see. So this is the big tooth right here. This is the bottom tooth. This is the other front bottom tooth. And you know how your bottom teeth right here are bigger. What's wrong?
So Morgan came over and got in between Layla and the ring that she's looking.
Yeah.
And then Layla moved, and then they both started looking the ring.
Oh.
I thought she was like trying to block Layla. But I turned into something else. So.
Alrighty. So am I erasing what I've transferred? Yes, that's what I'm doing. Now, it's possible that when I was transferring, that I was a little off on the transfer. Yeah, it looks like I was a little off because I do have the overlapping There. So I'm just going to have to freehand it. Not a big deal, though.
And I would say too, if you've never done a portrait before, by no means am I trying to dissuade anybody from doing teeth, but teeth are very difficult.
They are.
And so if you have a choice of doing a portrait with a person with teeth, or or just with their mouth closed, maybe they're smiling. If you're not that confident, maybe do the closed mouth before you attempt the teeth, because the teeth are a bit more advanced, and it can. But you should try it.
Absolutely. It's the only way you're gonna learn.
If you're doing it for like a commission or something, or for a family member, like try it with the mouth closed first, and then I would say work on teeth and get the hang of it before that.
Go away.
But
Actually, I made her front teeth.
if it's not a commission, challenge yourself.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Are we closer?
I realize we're halfway through January. Over halfway through January.
Yep.
Crazy.
All right.
I gotta fix my studio.
One thing I can do, because I'm the artist.
Yes, you are.
I can actually hide some of the teeth.
Oh, that's true.
I can hide some of the teeth. I can bring her lip down. Now, that would throw her pose off a little bit, so I do have to be careful with that. All right. I feel a little more comfortable. We got our gap right there. Now, you're not going to see me outline any of the teeth, because when you outline teeth, you make it look like, again, the Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
So we don't want Tic Tacs. I'm actually going to switch over to the 18 small sphere shader so I can start filling in the lips. And then as I'm doing the shading, I can actually even leave the teeth just the raw wood, and it'll still look right with a little shading in it. Because that's all your teeth are. There's no outlines. It's just shading. But I guess that goes with everything else, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's just shading.
You're just giving away the secret to everything.
It's shading.
All right. Stream's over.
That's all we got. That's all it is, folks.
Carmen says, as someone told me a short time ago, step out of the box and challenge yourself.
Absolutely.
You might surprise yourself.
Yep.
Also, what are you doing in a box? That's not right.
Make me comfortable.
Get out of the box.
All right, so I'm going to put her lips in. I'm going very light. In fact, I told Cynthia we discussed it. I am burning over the line, but I'm going so light that when I go to erase, it will pull out underneath the burn. So if your burn's looking dirty, it may just be that the graphite is showing through it.
So when you get done with the piece, there's not going to be any graphite on it at all?
No.
Ah.
No.
So that's cool. So, and then...
Just guidelines
for
for the burn.
I know it's a little off subject, but you don't use carbon.
No.
Because, well, one, it's toxic, and then what...
Two, it doesn't... It's got wax in it, so once it's heated up,
it
doesn't remove.
Oh, so yeah, it sets into the wood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yep.
I mean, I knew that, kind of, but it's always a good reminder. So if you got carbon paper, like, you're not going to be able to get up those carbon lines.
No.
It's going to muddy up your composition.
No matter how much you erase, it will not come off.
Cynthia says thank you.
Not a problem. Alrighty, so let's get ready to do some erasing. Let me make sure I've got enough shading around the teeth that when I erase the graphite, we don't lose it. Excuse me. Here we go.
What a good puppy.
Now I am going to have to detail it out, but I have enough now that I can erase the graphite. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. So now I can do the little tweaking that I might need, although...
It's already looking...
Yeah, it already is
already
not
looks
bad.
better. Yeah.
I ain't hating it.
You once you erase the chiclet lines,
Yep.
it really starts to
Look like
teeth. And I think that I just want to say, like, your brain, most people, especially if you're trying to get away from outlining, it's a habit that your brain is going to be fixated on. So teeth are individual shapes, so your brain is going to want to outline those individual shapes, and that's part of what contributes them looking like chiclets. So, but when you look at a mouth or teeth, a lot of times those shapes kind of blend together, and so you're not getting the individual shapes of the teeth. Your brain is going to want to see them and draw them in. They're like, teeth are like this. Teeth are rectangular. They're, chiclet-like, and you must draw them in. But you have to fight that urge and draw what you actually see. Because with the detail that you see, unless you're very, very close, is you're going to see that there's the teeth kind of blend together, and then there's, darker spots. Oh, God, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Spence says, yep, it's looking awesome.
So right now I do see that the bottom lip, where it's up against the teeth, that needs to go darker. And see, it's actually darker on top of the lip because I have the lights hitting her. Let's back it out and see what we got. We got a mouth. Look at that.
Yep.
Look how quick. No outlining. It will need to be detailed just a little bit, but because I don't have other things in, I don't want to fully detail yet, because then once I have everything blocked in and I start darkening up the areas that should be darker, it allows me to adjust other areas. And some people work this way and it works for them, but it doesn't work for me to fully finish one section and then move on to the next section. Try that.
I don't think it's that, love.
Well, try it, please.
What's this stuff taste like?
It's actually not bad. All right. So let's go down.
Apologize for the coughing. I don't know. It's like I got something caught in my throat.
Hence, throat spray. Alrighty. So now, Ezra's teeth. We have a lot more in shadow. They are closer together. He's a 3-year-old who still has his baby teeth, so we don't have the gaps like we do with Jessica, who's 6, and, we got the chiclets in. Right now, he's got the little tic-tacs that are all lined up, but we do have some darks right here where it pushes back, but most of the teeth are in shadow with a little bit lighter here, and then there's a highlight right here. I didn't draw. Did I draw in the highlight?
Burrow has arrived.
Burrow. See, I feel his mouth, his teeth are off too. So I would rather take the time, fix my line work, because if my line work is off and I follow my line work, then the burning is off. So it's just easier sometimes to fix the lines ahead of time. There he is. There's the stinker.
Did you just wink at me?
No?
No, more than.
Oh. Alright, so let's check the
Coming up for
teeth.
pets.
So on Ezra's teeth, we do see the gum. We see the gum that goes in between We don't see it so much down here. I mean, we do right here, but it's really a shadow. So we do see gum, so we have to have the shape. It's not going to be flat across. So I'm going right above his finger, which this is his finger. It's always easier when you're actually doing a burning that's bigger. So if I was doing just one of them, I would make this a bigger burning.
You're welcome, Burl.
And we curve. These curves are important.
Spence, a Burl is never late. She arrives
Precisely
when she means to.
He just started watching. He finished the second movie. We just finished the third movie last night.
He's never seen it?
I don't know if he's ever seen it. I just know he's watching it.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here.
Best movies ever.
No, they're very good movies.
What?
But not best movie
What do you
ever.
mean not best movie ever?
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes, you are.
So we have a little gap in between these front tooth and the canine tooth. But because he's 3, this is definitely much smaller in size. Let's see here. Front tooth, canine. This one is an angle. So it kind of goes up like this. And because I'm zoomed in on my picture, of course, everything looks bigger than it actually is. So I have to make sure I pay attention to that. That I don't get it stuck in my head. This is the size when it really isn't. I'm zoomed in.
Yeah, I think that what you just said is really important. Like, you should never try and get it stuck in your head that anything is just the way that something is, because there's so many different viewing angles and distances that, you know, you can't assign a standard appearance for anything. You just always be aware of what you're looking at and how it actually looks as opposed to the way that you think it should look.
So I'm going to have to do some creative...
Lord of the Rings, bro.
So I'm sorry this is taking time, but it's much easier to fix it when you see it than it is to burn it and have to backtrack.
True.
So that's what we're doing. We're taking the time, and it's all shapes. So as long as I pay attention, child, you're driving me nuts. We got a dip here.
I think she just, I don't know, the way she licks, I think she just likes the way that metal feels on her tongue.
Possibly.
Or maybe the way it tastes. Maybe she likes that metallic taste.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You're driving me nuts. Let's see here. I got this a little too wide. And this is my transfer pencil because it's a thinner pencil. Thinner lead. This is a 0.3 millimeter lead, I believe.
Spence says he just watched Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Oh, we already did.
Yeah, we started with The Rings of Power, actually, on Amazon.
Alright, let's see. I need to switch back over because we do have a little bit of gap that I need to tap in, and that's all it's going to be. It's just going to be a tap in. So we'll get in there. I know it's hard to see from the reference on your guys'. It's like right there. My finger is bigger than his head. Excuse me. Alright, so 1.5. Actually, about 1 1/4. I have my reference in my lap. That way I can see. As long as my hair is not in my face. Guys, you're driving me nuts. You really are.
This happens every stream.
I know, but it's one of those things that after a while...
I know.
Tap.
Maybe we just need to get you a new chair. Or hear me out. I wonder what would happen if we wrapped the bottom footrest in like duct tape or something. I mean, it wouldn't be pretty, but it might keep her from licking it.
No, it won't.
It's worth trying.
Alright, so the gum is in between, obviously. We have a highlight right there, so I'm going to skip that area. We're going to get...
That's a big stretch, Roxy.
Excuse me.
Hopefully nothing else happened during that big stretch.
So we have some gum down here being seen. And right here. And again, because I still have the graphite on here, it's hard for me to get the adjustment right, but we will. Just tapping in some of the gum. And now, real quick, I am going to switch back over to the spear shader. Bump it up a little past 2 so I can get the lips in, and then I can erase.
Cynthia Burley says, "Bless you." Did one of us sneeze, or did you do something significant that warranted being blessed?
I don't know.
I mean, you're you, so of course you know that's pretty significant.
You're
but
just jealous.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Or did one of the dogs? No, the dogs didn't.
No, I don't know.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
So, get the lip in. And I have to be careful because the finger's right here. So, I have to be careful on my erasing to not lose my finger. Although what I could do is just put the tip of the finger in. Then I don't have to worry about it.
I see.
Right up against the graphite. It's a little darker there. We've got a highlight. So. See, there's a highlight right here, down here. Oops. Because I touched down with just the tip, even though I'm at a lighter heat setting, still give a darker burn. So I will just blend it in. Alright, so now I'm actually going to bump back down to 1.5 so I can get the shading in. All this is in shadow. Make sure, because once I erase.
Andrea Total Bear is here. She says hello, everybody.
Hey, Andrea. Alright. So this tooth is in shadow. Alrighty. It looks dirty right now because I did burn over the graphite. Now let's erase without losing my finger.
I don't think you'd want to lose your finger. That would be painful.
Yeah. Alright. Let's take a peek. Well, I do need more lip. Just using the tip.
It's amazing the transformation when the graphite comes off. Like just how much it changes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. Like I know you're not going to move around, but Morgan has her head fully under, like she's directly under and in between the wheels.
Okay.
So if you move your chair, she's gonna get run over.
I guess I can't move.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's a lot of trust.
So I'm not going to mess with the highlight right now. And get that in there. Leave a slight highlight.
So I always find like what you're doing live is always, to me, it's not nerve-wracking, but it is daring, because you have the skills and the confidence to do this portrait live, but you're doing it live. So this isn't like, it's not something. You've never done this composition before.
No, and I've never would burn kids.
Essentially, metaphorically, you're walking a tightrope without a net here, live. And I don't know if the viewers realize that this is like, I'm sure that our longtime viewers do realize that you're creating art.
Back it up.
On the fly, and for everything that happens is what happens during the process. It's not planned.
Mm-hmm. No,
you planning it, but but your execution is, it's without a net.
Well, we got my mouse. It's a mess in there up close, but that's because I'm trying to get around the finger. So instead of trying to get around the finger, excuse me, why don't we just do the finger? Just the top of it. We don't have to, because it is part of the mouth based on this composition. So all these. So looking at the reference, the finger is pretty dark.
Just for everybody who's watching, just please remember to like and comment. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps us out. It does not cost anything, and it certainly helps Valarie out a great deal. So, and we appreciate it very much. Appreciate everybody who consistently stops by. Thank you for being here.
All right. So this shadow on his finger is as dark as his lips.
She is super relaxed.
Yeah, she is.
Super happy. Burl says no yawning around. I'm sorry, Burl.
This may have thrown it off a little bit.
Wait, did you yawn or did I yawn? I probably did.
You probably did.
Yeah. Carmen says, I'm really focused on what Valarie is doing with the teeth.
Yeah. Let's back it out.
It is a difficult and somewhat nerve-wracking process doing little details like this.
Much easier when your pattern's bigger.
And
because you figure his mouth is only 2.5 inches.
Yeah. And it's important not to overdo it either. And here's another habit that many artists have, including me.
The highlight's right there. I may not keep it. I just needed to see. Excuse me.
So it's really important to have your composition down. And sometimes when a detail doesn't look right, it's because something's off. And there's a tendency to like, well, if I just keep at it, it's going to be better. But if your detail looks wrong, maybe you need to step back and assess it, and before you really commit to making it that much darker. So,
see, this comes.
which is why Valarie burns light to dark and works gradually, so that she can assess those details and make sure that she's not overworking an area or making it too dark. That way everything comes into focus at once, kind of like a Polaroid.
Kind of. Got a line there. What I'm doing, because I feel like I completely lost his teeth. I did something. Alright. Now I gotta get my brain to work through it. Not a big deal. Doable. It's just harder on camera because I want to talk to you guys, but then I need to think.
Well, and that's why I'm talking sometimes. It's not because everybody wants to hear hubcap, but I recognize that Valarie needs to focus, and so rather than a big awkward silence, you know. Because sometimes when you're an artist, you need all of your mental facilities to do something. You need all your computing power to do something, and it's hard to focus otherwise.
Because up close, I mean, from a distance, looking at on the camera, where you guys are at, it looks right. But when I look at it up close, that's where I'm having the problem.
I gotcha.
And I'm just trying to figure out where that problem
I think
is. You know? Just trying to find it. And I definitely want this, I feel like, because it's so little in the scheme of things. This is so little. So I don't want.
So Carmen has a question, and I'm going to put in my 2 cents, and then if you would put in yours, because that's what they're really here for. It's for your 2 cents.
Can you make change?
Yes. So Carmen, her next portrait is her mom, and her mouth is barely open, showing only one tooth. Sorry. And her hubby says she should do it with her mouth closed. In doing that, there would be a wider line between her lips. Would that throw off the picture? And my answer,
I'd have to see it.
My answer is that anytime you make alterations to a portrait, especially around a facial feature, like, you might not realize it, but like when your mouth closes, or when your eyes close, it's not just that the eye closes independently or the mouth closes independently. Like, it affects the surrounding skin, and it may muscles and the underlying muscles, and it may affect the structure of the face. So it might seem like a simple thing, but in drawing the mouth closed, unless you are really sure what your subject looks like with their mouth closed, it might throw it off, and so you really need to be careful with that. So if she's got only one tooth showing, if you really, really want to make the composition true to your subject, you might want to stick to it, unless you've got other reference photos that you can work off of.
Well, my question would be, is with the one tooth that's slightly showing, was that your mom's normal smile?
Yeah. And
if it was her normal smile, I would keep it, because that's a part of her. If it's something you never saw her do before, and maybe she was posing or doing something, I don't know, then I'd say, it's up to you. But you do have to take into consideration the muscles and how everything interacts.
And if you want to see what that looks like, maybe before you commit it to the wood and to do a pyrography piece, maybe do some studies in what you see, so where you can kind of play with those alterations and see how they turn out, because you might find out that it's not something that you like, or you might find out that it's okay, but it's important to do those studies before you commit to the final piece, because if there is something off that you don't like when you're doing the final piece, you might have to sand it down or even scrap it and start over, and that's never fun. So
Okay, this hand.
says,
I think it's the hand that's throwing me. So I'll try to smooth out this burn. Get it a little more even.
Carmen says she had bad teeth in her younger years, so she didn't smile to the point where her teeth would show.
I understand that.
You know. And that's the case with a lot of people. I mean, throughout history, now, you know, dental work is expensive, and unless you're very fortunate and you have, you know, the ability to get dental work done, you have a lot of people who are not comfortable smiling with their mouth open because they're very self-conscious about it, you know. And I think that's a really important thing to consider when you're doing a portrait. But Valerie's right. How do you know your mom? Like, what's your experience? And, you know, because maybe that smile with the, you know, with that tooth, maybe that's like
her
crucial to her character, and so maybe you know, maybe you ought to do the tooth. But again, it's your portrait. It's your family member.
You're the artist.
You're the artist. It's up to you.
Yes, trying. The finger is what's throwing me off. But until I get other stuff in, I'm going to have to be okay with it. Alrighty. So, I mean, looks like smiles.
Yeah.
Looks like teeth.
Looks good to me.
There's something I want to adjust.
Looks done. Let's call it a wrap.
Nah, not yet.
The portrait's finished. Have you ever had that where you're like sweating through something on a piece of art and you manage to get it just right, and you're like, all right, I'm done. Like, if I do any more, I'm gonna screw it up. It's like, I think we all feel like that at some point, except maybe not Valarie, because Valarie is awesome.
No. I'm actually trying to lighten the teeth.
So Carmen says the reference photo she's using is in black and white. It was taken before she was born.
Oh.
And she's not really smiling. It's just that her mouth is open slightly. I would do some studies.
Yeah.
Before you commit.
Do a little practice. See what you just with a pencil and maybe paper. You don't have to go and burn it and reburn. I mean, not a bad thing, but a little bit more. Goodness gracious, I'm going to have to replace that. I might have another one. May have come in a 2-pack. It's just losing its tightness. Alright, let's zoom it in so we can see a little bit more. See, Grandma's piece doesn't have tight lip smile like me. So I didn't have to worry about that. Still feel. This needs to go a little darker so we can see.
Carmen says that she will send you the reference photo.
It's gonna.
Hubby has photoshopped later.
Okay.
So after the stream sometime, I suppose.
It might be a little while before I get back to you because we gotta go shovel snow.
Yeah, we had a lot of snowfall here, and it's even started snowing a couple times during the broadcast here, and it's not currently snowing, but it's supposed to snow again, right?
Today's Tuesday, Friday. Once it's done today.
Personally, I love snow. I hate shoveling it, but I grew up in that snowy environment.
See, the more I keep darkening a little bit, the more he starts feeling more put together.
Yes.
The finger. So when I said finger, did anybody else hear? It could have just been me.
Hear what?
The dad working.
Not a finger.
Yes. That. That's what my brain heard.
That was one of the things that I heard.
Alrighty. So we got our smile on. Excuse me.
Morgan is now, her throat is now directly under the wheel. So just don't shift forward at all because she's knocked out.
Okay. So I am at 1. Remember, this is basswood. Basswood requires less heat, but I'm also running my pin flat. Let's see here.
Carmen says they've had major fog all week. So thick you can't see 20 feet in front of you. I like fog, as long as you don't have to travel in it. It's like privacy for your house.
So I'm just trying to add little shadows. Underneath.
It's amazing how much different this portrait looks with the mouth in place and the graphite removed.
Mm-hmm. When they start coming alive.
Mm-hmm.
You start seeing little pieces of them.
Valerie's technique is, again, to work slowly and bring those details in. You might be tempted to burn dark and try and, get it done, quickly, but that could lead to where you commit to something that turns out to be a mistake or that you can't fix later.
Yep.
And
slow.
I would say that also if you're watching pyrography, I'm not. If you're watching pyrography like time lapse videos where they're speed.
Oh, it makes it look like everything's
looks like
this.
It's so fast. Like, oh my God, you're doing it so fast.
Yeah.
But it's not a quick process.
So next week we've got hair and
Good,
hand.
Morgan. Did you just
to
wake
do.
up?
And I don't feel like I need to do the clothes because I would like to get this done by the end of the month. What's today? The 17th. How many Tuesdays are in?
2.
Left.
I think 2.
Yep, there's 2. The 24th and the 31st. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 hands that you can physically see. And I do think we need to go over hands. And hair. We've got darker hair and we have blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 contrasting tonal values there to work with. So I think we should spend some time on that as well. Like I said, the clothes, I think you guys have that. I guess I could always post a quick video of me working on the fabric. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, fabric.
I guess.
Fabric is fabric.
Yeah, fabric is fabric.
So.
But to get it to drape right and the shading, I'm not putting the patterns on here, so I don't have to worry about that. Yes, none of that's going on. I don't even think I don't know. I could freehand his pattern in. I haven't decided yet. I may need to in order to offset her solid, but that I'll have to wait and see. Because I can put it in all in one color and then I can go back, or tonal value, and go back and then put some squares in if I decide to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll do hair next week because that'll allow me to finish off the faces. And then we got the hands and fingers. 2 hands and 3 sets of fingers to get done. And then, oh, don't hit your head, don't hit your head. Then we'll be done. We got any questions? Alrighty. It looks like the mouths are there.
They're there.
They're there.
You did it.
And they still need, like I said, they still need some detailing. But the teeth are there. We got smiles on our face.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, we're going to move on, and you know what to say.
What to say?
What to say. Say it with me. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye. Don't outline your teeth.
No.
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't outline the teeth.
Remember to like,